Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you all for coming. I'm Paula with BookingPal. I'm your Senior Director of National Sales. And today we're going over the great new connection we have with One Fine Stay and what that can do to help you with your business. With that being said, I'd love to introduce you to Michael Friedman. He has been in the vacation rental industry for a very long time. Um, and we have worked together with different companies, and he's a great guy. And he just recently, about a year ago now, Michael went over to One Fine Stay.
About 7 months ago. Yeah, so
Okay.
close to a year.
Okay. And he's bringing everything into the US. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Michael. Just so you know, if you have any questions about what he is discussing, I'm also going to be the chat moderator. So you can ask questions during, and we'll also have a Q&A at the end. So with that, take it away, Michael.
Thanks, Paula. Let me just share my screen here and get my PowerPoint up, and we'll get it going. Just make sure everyone can see my screen here. Can everyone see that? Hopefully, Paula, can we see it?
Let's see. Yes, right now I do see it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Good. Well, thanks everyone. First of all, Paula and Tom, thank you so much for having me here today. And I'm excited to be here sharing the opportunities with you all. As Paula mentioned, my name is Michael Friedman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for One Fine Stay for the Americas. And I've been with the company now about 7 months, although I've been in the industry, like Paula said, for quite some time. And look forward to sharing with you today. If there are questions, excuse me, as Paula indicated, please ask them during the presentation. Feel free to ask away, and we'll stop and answer those questions. And at the end, we'll have some more questions available for everyone. So I'm going to start with just giving you guys over a quick overview, a high-level overview of who One Fine Stay is, for those of you who don't know our company. And then I'll dive into a little bit more specifics on how we do things with the guest relationships, and then the opportunity for you as property managers to work with us and what we do to help and grow your bookings for your luxury properties and your luxury guests and the clientele that you may have. So just a quick overview on One Fine Stay. First of all, we have two business verticals. The one vertical we have is called our direct business model. We're not going to talk about that today. That's where we are actually a property manager. However, we only do that in several cities, which is London, Paris, New York, and Los Angeles, where we operate as a property manager. Today, we're going to talk about One Fine Stay as an online travel agency, and how we can again help you grow your business. So I'm not going to read all of this, but essentially we were established in London in 2010. In 2016, we were purchased by a company called Accor. Many of you may know Accor. Accor is a large hospitality company based in Paris, and they saw an opportunity to acquire, similar to what Marriott decided to do, but in Accor sense, decided to purchase a brand, a company that was solely focused on the luxury side of things. And so what we do is, from beachside estates to chalets to the urban markets that we're in, we help our guests find ideal homes. And we'll talk more about what our guests look like and where they come from in a little bit. But essentially, we are a global company based in Paris and London. And then here in the United States, we have offices in New York and Los Angeles. I reside in Madison, Wisconsin, coincidentally, but cover, like I said, all of the Americas. So why One Fine Stay? Well, we are the only company where our top 1% are handpicked by our experts. And what I mean by that is the homes that we put in our portfolio, or the homes that we distribute on our website, are the top 1%. And we're going to talk more about what those villas and chalets look like, the collections that we have, and then why, and the destinations we're in, But what's important to us when we look for properties and work with PMCs, and how we can help you with distribution. So we have three types of collections. We have our home collection, which is kind of what I would call more of our urban setting or urban markets that we're in. We have our villa collection, which is our leisure collection that's uh, all through the Caribbean, Mexico, in Central Europe, Asia. And then we have our chalet collection, which is really focused on our mountain markets, currently in Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and continuing to grow those markets. So about 50 destinations at the moment, 4,500 plus homes, villas, and chalets that we currently distribute. As I mentioned, excuse me, as I mentioned, we are part of a core. For those of you, again, who don't really know a core, there's a value to this because of our brand. One of the things that we have, and you'll see this later on, is we have a huge database of guests that have stayed with us, but also part of the Accor family. And some of the names and brands that you see here, you might be familiar with. The main one in the U.S. is Fairmont, which we own and manage. But you'll see that there's a value add to being part of this group with One Fine Stay from a hospitality perspective, because we do get a lot of guests that have stayed in our other hotel brands that are now staying in our luxury vacation rentals. So some nice benefit to you as the property manager. So what sets us apart? Really, what sets us apart is the luxury hospitality side of things and the curated lifestyle that we believe in and we bring. As I mentioned, we're part of Accor, the luxury segment, which is the Fairmont and Sofitel brands. We have destination specialists to match all of your guests with the right home. So we have a full sales team that works with our property managers to first and foremost understand your brand, understand your homes, understand your locations, and understand how to sell that inventory to our guests. Our guests typically do not come from the traditional places, if you would think of like Airbnb and VRBO and things like that. Most of our guests are coming from private family offices. They're coming from travel entertainment companies. They're coming from, those types of segments. And you'll see some of our booking numbers later on in the presentation here that I think you'll find of value. Every guest that checks into one of our properties, we do a personal meet and greet. We have a full concierge team and staff in the Americas as well as in Europe to support that. We have round-the-clock support 24/7. Believe it or not, we are one of the few companies that does have a global presence, but around-the-clock support. We do weekly cleans that are complimentary for our guests, and then obviously we have the curated lifestyle of making sure that all of our homes are inspected on a regular basis. As I mentioned, the dedicated concierge team to tailor specific stays, obviously crafting great experiences, and then working with different travel partners like Virtuoso, American Express, things of that nature. So that's where a lot of our clientele do come from. And as mentioned, celebrities, influencers, property PR and marketing that we do to target those guests for the homes that we are currently distributing, making sure that each property stands alone. It has its unique values and features, and how do we market that to our clientele? So what makes us unique? Obviously, as I mentioned, the finest homes that are inspected are professional hospitality and our global destinations in prime neighborhoods. One of the things you'll learn about us as you get to know us is, not every home will meet the One Fine Stay criteria being on the platform. That's not to say we're trying to be exclusive, but we are, in the sense that we need to make sure that the homes that we have in our company and in our portfolio and on our platform meet our rigorous criteria. So we are a luxury travel brand from that perspective. What makes a One Fine Stay home? So a lot of people ask, okay, I've got this house. What kind of criteria, does the home have to have, and what things that we need to have in it? So obviously we look for premium and desirable neighborhoods. We are obviously focused on, is it close to specific dining establishments? You see it here. It says not too touristy. Obviously, a lot of our homes are off the beaten path. They're in more exclusive gated communities, especially in the Caribbean, like the Dominican Republic, Barbados, and Mexico. but they're easy to also get to. The homes also have to have a very unique wow factor. A unique vibe, great attention to detail. Obviously, views are really incredibly important for us. Um, so those are some of the things we look for in our properties to make them, special for our guests. And then space, character, design, and comfort. I'm not going to go through all of these. You can see this, and I'll have the presentation, and I'm happy to, at the end, I know this is being recorded, but also share the deck with anyone. But we have some definite certain requirements and criteria that we follow from a standard perspective. Our clientele, as I mentioned, many of our clients have stayed with us in the past, either in our hotels or they've stayed with us in One Fine Stay locations globally. We do a lot of group stays, which is really big for us. Obviously, entertainment and VIP is a big piece of our puzzle of where our guests come from. And then obviously, we do cater to a high level of C-level executives. So you notice 40% of our guests have a repeat stay rate, and our average booking volume this past year was about $20,000 for our average booking stay. So a really nice average booking value for our clientele and what we're generating for our property managers as well. Destination wise, as you can see here in our home collection, this is where we're in more urban centers. You'll see us in the likes of here in the US, New York, Los Angeles, and soon to be again San Francisco. Our villa collection is quite extensive throughout the Caribbean, Mexico. We're really growing in Hawaii right now. It's a big location for us, Central America as well. And then our chalet collection, which we recently launched this year, although we had a little bit of a presence in Aspen, really now a significant presence with the help of BookingPal in Breckenridge, Steamboat, Vale, and Beaver Creek. So we will be continuing to grow those destinations as well in the coming year. So excited to have that with us as well. So this is just a few pictures of our home collection. I'm not going to say anything about that. Just a nice photo feature of what some of our homes do look like. This is part of our villa collection. The one you see with the villa, that's in Tuscany. But again, just parts of our villa collection and some of the things that we provide our guests. Same thing with our chalet collection. As you can see, some of our homes in Aspen, the background that I have on right now, and then obviously Steamboat, Beaver Creek, and Breckenridge. So what does our end guest experience look like? This is a really tough slide to see, but I wanted to show it to you because we have this incredible attention to detail for all of our guests, and it's that experience your guests will have while staying in your properties. First of all, when I send this over, you'll be able to see it. There's inspiration. What's the inspiration behind the stay? Obviously, getting to them to book and pay. Our concierge team does an incredible job on the pre-stay, making sure that services that are needed, such as transportation, fast track through security and customs, everything from booking yachts to chefs to excursions, whatever the guest would like. Typically, we can provide all of that through our concierge team. We have a full team of 4 professionals now. There are full-time travel planners here in the US, and we have another 3 in Europe. While the guest is in stay, we also do quite a bit for you. And then post-stay, making sure that the stay was great and how can we improve. One of the things we do is we work with your concierge team as well. So if you have a concierge team that works for you and is with you, and you have your own services, our team will work in conjunction with yours. We don't want to step on your toes. Obviously, we want to make sure that it's a great guest experience all the way through. So just giving you kind of a high level overview on that as well. Part of our guest experience, as you can see here, we match the home with the guest and their specific needs. So as I said, we have a dedicated sales team that works specifically with each guest, making sure that the experience they're looking for, we're being able to provide that with the home that they're looking for. And so by being able to do that and really dig deep on the guest's needs, we're able to find that perfect match. As I mentioned, dedicated concierge or personal meet and greet. We have extensive housekeeping that we can help support with. Now, obviously on the indirect side, you may have your own housekeepers and that's fine. but definitely we can provide that support. And then, as I mentioned, that round the clock support. These are just some of the, services that we regularly see our guests ask for, or we do on pre-planning stays. So quite a bit. Believe it or not, I think the biggest ones are grocery delivery, chef services, private butlers, boat rentals, and transportation. So just some additional services. So from a PR and marketing perspective, how do we support you as a property manager? Well, there's a lot of things that we do. One of the things is, as you can see, these were print ads from Virgin Atlantic this past year. There's a print ad in Condé Nast. We're getting ready to launch a major campaign in Condé Nast for our whole series of properties from the City Collection to the leisure, mountains and Caribbean. But what's nice about this is when we have those properties or your properties in our portfolio, many of those do get featured in these publications and get featured in specific articles and things like that. So we are regularly spending and upwards of significant six figures every year to promote our destinations, promote our properties, and promote our property managers in certain instances. Email marketing, we have a database, as I mentioned to you, of over 220,000 contacts, and that's just within the One Fine Stay system. That does not include several million within the core system. But a weekly newsletter does go out featuring all of our new locations, our new properties, featuring different properties that may have specials and things like that. So we are reaching our guests, repeat guests on a regular basis. This is interesting. So this is about press coverage and what we call share of voice in 2022. This is the percentage of online content and conversations about One Fine Stay compared to our competitors. And I'm super transparent here. I mean, we're not number one, but if you look and see search mentions in Europe, in the UK, we far exceed any of our competitors. Here in the US, we're second only behind Plum Guide, which does a really nice job, but we are growing and will continue to grow that base of business here in the US as far as people talking about One Fine Stay, really knowing the brand, understanding the brand, and then how it brings value to them, their families, and on their holidays and vacations. Social media marketing, we do quite a bit of that. I'm not going to get into the details of this, but we are doing quite a bit. Publication wise, we're in anywhere from around 2,400 publications on an average basis, 123,000 followers as well. So I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of that today. We don't have time, but if you guys decide you want to work with us, we'll share more about what we're doing from a social media perspective in each of our markets, and then what we're doing to highlight and feature properties as well. Reputation and review management is really important for us, and Trustpilot's a big piece of that. So as you can see, we are a verified company on Trustpilot, and we do have a 4.4 score. That's something we're always trying to improve upon. We know we're not perfect. But yet one of the things we do is we continue to improve. It takes time, but we are doing an exceptional job of that. And I think one of the things you'll see is that when we work with property managers, we're incredibly transparent about what needs to be improved in their properties to make that guest experience better, or the guest experience and flow from them coming from a One Fine Stay sales experience. So this past year, this came out about 2 weeks ago now, we were ranked in the top 3 villa rental companies in the world by Condé Nast and their Reader's Choice Awards. So we are really, really proud of that. We are striving to be number 1, and I think within the next 2 years, you'll see us at that top spot just based on the destinations we're in, the services we're providing, the partners we're partnering with, and the team we have. We have an exceptional team here at One Fine Stay in Accor, and we're continually working to improve what we do and make our guest experiences incredible. So it's pretty awesome. So just some interesting things to know about our inventory. These are just some photos of our top performing inventory. You can see some on the top. Those are in the Dominican Republic and Barbados. We've got some London properties as well. a couple Mexico properties. But as you can see, you can see the kind of caliber of home that we are looking for, the quality of the amenities and things like that. So just some nice features there as well. Some Q2 stats, and this is from 2022. So far, we have over 200 bookings this year in the Caribbean with an average booking value of $20,500. And excuse me, our December stays in the Caribbean, our average booking value is close to just under $30,000. Bookings for Europe, excluding London, have an average booking value of about $16,000. And our top performing destinations currently, obviously London is one of our top destinations because that's where we were founded and originally based. The Caribbean, particularly the Turks and Caicos, St. John, St. Bart's. In the US, obviously, we have Los Angeles, where we do very, very well. The mountains of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming, we're really excited about that. Obviously, it's new for us, but the inquiries we've had and the bookings we've had so far have been substantial. New York City, we just relaunched in New York City after being out of that market for about 2.5 years now. But we are back there and really, really excited about the opportunities in New York City. And so far, the bookings we've had with our homes there, and then Mexico does well as well. So just some of those top performing destinations and things that you can see from us. Working with you guys as property managers. How can a property manager perform well with One Fine Stay? Again, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but obviously, as you can see here, imaging is really, really important. One of the things we do, if you would want us to do it, we can. We can shoot our own photography. We also provide 3D virtual tours and floor plans for all of our homes. It's not a requirement, but it is a service we provide, and we'd be willing to work with you, and we absorb that cost for our property managers. Real-time availability and rates, obviously, that's really important for us. Having that rate parity where we can have that available is obviously important. Making sure that we're constantly checking the One Fine Stay listing for information compared to your site. So we have a dedicated team. You'll have a dedicated account manager that's going to work with you specifically to make sure all of those rates, those images, those amenities are always up to date. And then any type of video as well. How can the team sell One Fine Stay to their clients? I've got a file in Drive here that I'll send over, and you guys can have access to that. I'm not going to go through that today, but you'll have access to seeing kind of some of those things as well. The main benefits of connecting with us, there's a lot, but these are just a few. Obviously, the biggest thing is we are marketing experts to high net worth individuals globally. And we are able to find those individuals who are willing to spend the $50,000, for a week stay in some of your properties. Even if they're 10,000 or 20,000, we have that clientele, and that's our clientele base. I think our level of service is really, really exceptional compared to what our competitors do. Our 24/7 dedicated service team is really, I think, a big part of why we are also so successful, because we are able to react to challenges when they happen, and they do, but really making sure that we're answering guests' needs and questions as needed, but also making sure that our partners are being serviced the way they should be. As I mentioned, a database of over 220,000 people, part of the Accor group. I know I've mentioned that a few times. I think that it's really important that, and maybe I don't want to say I'm overemphasizing it. I really stress this as one of the big sellers for us because, as you can see, there's 68 million what we call all members, which are part of Accor's, we'll call it like their advantage program, loyalty program, excuse me. So we are constantly in their mailboxes. We're constantly marketing to them. They're constantly being exposed to the One Fine Stay brand in all of our homes globally. So it is a really big deal from a distribution perspective. We are working, like I said, with Virtuoso, Traveler Made, other companies that are attracting those types of clientele. Social media reach is really massive for us. We have 2 press agencies that we work with in New York and London. And then obviously we also host press stays. So when we do go into a new market, if it's a market that we're not in, well, let's say you are as a property manager and we decide to come into that market and work with you, we do an extensive press stay to feature not just the homes, but you as the property manager. And that goes into the likes of Condé Nast, Robb Report, Forbes, things like that. And then, as I said, we're a dedicated team just to making sure that all of our property managers and clients are being well taken care of. My contact information is below. David Whiteside, who's my colleague in Europe, his contact is below. That's it. I'm happy to open the floor to questions, thoughts, comments, and how we can help you.
Okay, so you all should see the distribution wizard. Is that correct, guys?
Yep.
Okay, so in order to get here, and this is for the majority of our channels on here. Michael,
Yep.
can you see it? Okay, just want to make sure.
No,
Okay, so all you would do is you would click on this. The nice thing about this channel, as well as all of those, and Damien, I'll ask that question to him in 1 second. You're able to see all the information right here. You're able to see what their commission is, who's the merchant of record, who collects the funds, and you're able to set your cancellation policy here. You also, right here, you see there's an instructional PDF. And this is going to tell you exactly what you need to do. So One Fine Stay requires an agreement with them first. So you'd go and click on this email address, send them an email, say you want to work with them. Once you get that done, they will tell you which properties you want to create. And it's just like everything else directly on the channel. Jake, I'm just putting this. I know this may not be your cancellation policy, but I'm just using this as an example.
Yep. And Paula, they can reach out to at the end of the presentation. I shared my contact in David's in Europe for anyone who's there. They can just contact me directly. It'd probably be quicker. So.
Okay, and that would work too. But then once all that's completed, you would hit start your process. Shows you how to sign up, just like we just discussed. Shows you the distribution steps, just like we discussed, and like you're already used to when you create your properties. Excuse me. The rate adjuster, you all know how that works. You can increase or decrease your rates to help cover or lower your cost. And you can do that by date. And then once that is completed, you would click next. You would go to create. And I know Michael's not taking all of them, but if he was taking them all, you would just do that and create new listings. If not, you would just choose which ones that they accepted, click create new listings. Once that happens and they subtract from this number here, then you would go to open and you would just click open all on page. It's as easy as that. And then that lets One Fine Stay know that they're ready to go and they do whatever they need to on their end. So it's very, very easy in that respect. So obviously the biggest next step would be to contact Michael once we're done.
Yep. I think there was a question, Paula.
Yeah, there's a very good question from Damien. He's located in Whistler and he's wondering if you will be expanding your chalet collection to Canada.
The answer is yes. And since he is in Whistler, that makes it even more palatable for us. So yeah, I would say, Damien, let's just reach out to me directly and michael.friedman@onefinestay.com. And let's have a chat, because that is a market we would definitely want to be in. It's on our radar for 2023. And so, yes, definitely, for sure.
And look at it this way, Damien, you can be the first.
Yep.
Roberta was asking if you would work on a 10% commission.
I would just say have Roberto reach out to me directly, and we can talk about his inventory. I think
Okay.
a lot of it does factor on availability, the type of property, the location, those types of things. So we would just have to have a chat on that to see if we can make it work somehow and a win-win.
Okay. And then Iacopo, yes, we have been recording this. So we will be sending that out. We'll also be sharing it on LinkedIn and all of our social medias as well. But we'll make sure we get this over to you. Usually takes a couple hours for us to get it, but then we'll get it over to you after that. And Jeff, like I said, we're working with Escapia Connect now to make sure that we can get One Fine Stay added to your wizard so that you can get on it as well.
Cool.
Next question is Joe sees Maui and the Big Islands. Any other expansion in Hawaii, Kauai, or anywhere else?
Yeah, great question, Joseph. Yes, we are going to be adding actually some additional inventory on Maui and Kona, where we are. Kauai, we haven't had a manager there yet. Have interest. So if you're there, definitely reach out to me. And we have a great team in LA that kind of manages that market for us. But happy to sit down and talk to you about Kauai and any other islands you might be on.
Okay, with that, we would love to give you 20 minutes back to your life. And this way, if you have anything else that you need to do, you can get that done as well. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me. I am Paula at mybookingpal.com. Or if it's directly about One Fine Stay, of course, michael.friedman at onefinestay.com. I also put that in the chat for anybody. So if you saw that, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we look forward to working with you all and getting you on One Fine Stay.